Hi, I'm CAMRYN, and this is my project on Second Chances by Chuck Gallagher. Second Chances by Chuck Gallagher is a piece of writing that may enable you to open your eyes to bad decisions that may lead to bad consequences, but it also has the ability to open your eyes to the world in general. I enjoyed this book because of the various lessons that it portrayed to its readers, and because of how palpable it was in describing each scenario and occurrence throughout. I noticed throughout this book that Gallagher referred to God numerous times, which caught my attention while reading. For example, one of my favorite quotes in the book was, "Our Father knows what's best for us. His ways are not our own. So, when your pathway grows dim and you just can't see Him, remember He's still on the throne. God is too wise to be mistaken. God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart." This quote was written in Gallagher's journal on February 23, 1996. This part of Second Chances was the one that stuck with me the most. In my opinion, this excerpt displays such a deep and meaningful message and has a lot of truth to offer. The quote was actually derived from a song by Baby Mason called "Trust His Heart." In the select lyrics that I chose from Trust His Heart, I believe that Mason starts out to say that God always has a direction that He intends for our lives to follow, and His plan is the ultimate. Baby Mason later goes on to say that when our lives get hard and we do not know what to do or where to turn, that God always works those struggles into His plan for us. Those next lyrics, "God is too wise to be mistaken, God is too good to be unkind," remind me a lot of Deuteronomy 31:6, which says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." I believe that these song lyrics are very essential to the songwriter's message, and they provide a positive outlook for Chuck Gallagher as he is going through such a trying and challenging experience. I personally admire Chuck Gallagher, not for the decisions that he made that ended up putting him behind bars, but for his decision to continually worship and give praise to God through that hardship. Finally, I believe that the last part of the song lyrics, "So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart," is Baby Mason's way of saying that we may not always feel that God knows what He is doing, but no matter what we feel, God is always right. We may not be able to comprehend the actions that He is taking now, but later down the road it will bring more benefits for us. Mason also brings up the point that when we can't see His hand, we should trust His heart. This is personally my favorite part of Mason's entire song because there are plenty of times that we lose sight of God because we may not agree with or appreciate what He is doing, but we should put all of our trust in Him because His heart will never make a wrong decision. This entire book has the ability to make an immense impact on someone's life. I have always been a religious person who has grown up in a religious household, and I feel that I have derived many lessons from this book. I feel that I can use the lessons that I learned from Second Chances to better the world and the people around me so that I may spread God's word even more. I believe that it will help me personally the most when my friends and I are under intense stress and almost ready to give up. Sometimes friends will come to me for advice, and I feel that this book will allow me to keep them and myself calm in situations that would usually be very grueling. This brings me back to the claim that Chuck made on page 135, which says, "As we apply ourselves in helping others, we also help ourselves. This is what makes the pitfalls in our journeys become diamonds in our lives." Through Second Chances, Chuck Gallagher depicted that people can change, and some people do deserve another opportunity. I now can better and more easily comprehend forgiveness and understanding. Chuck Gallagher has truly changed my life through this piece of writing. I never thought that my outlook on life would be the way that it is now. Obviously, there have been points in my life that I've lost sight of God and His plans for my future. For example, I had depression for around 2.5 years, which began at the start of my high school career because of toxic relationships and not enough time with God. As soon as I cut off those unhealthy relationships and turned my focus back to God again, I was able to get back to a good state of mind. There have been other times that I've questioned God and asked Him, why is this happening? Someone who I am very close with has a past of being a victim of sexual abuse and is finally able to speak out and get help. We both have oftentimes wondered why it had to be them that this happened to, but we're both strong in our faith and have kept the mindset that God is going to take care of the whole situation and envelop our family in His love. If I would have read Chuck Gallagher's book before all of the struggles that I have gone through within the past 4 years, I feel like Chuck Gallagher would have been able to convince me through his writing that even in the lowest points, eventually things would get better for me and that God always knows what He's doing. This book has made my outlook on life much more positive, and I hope to pass that positivity on to anyone that I encounter from here on out.